Mitch, just give us a count to 10 if you could.
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think we'll go with this. I'm just going to back it up on another record
That's
as well.
the first test I've passed in 5 years.
Without cheating. Come on. Now time for our special guest, Mitch from Mitch Meat. I got it backwards again. Let's do it again. Ready?
Yes.
Now time for our special guest, Mitch from Meat Mitch.
Stoking coals soothes my soul. I love my barbecue. Understand, I'm just a man with a pork fat baby back blues.
Hi, I'm Phil from Gdayall. So this show is going to be about barbecue, shrimp on the barbie, and speaking of Barbie.
Hi, I'm Barbara, the token Californian here, trying to tame the wild New Yorker to my left.
Never tame me. Never.
So it's, to remind you, this is just a conversation from East Coast to West Coast that came here, and we deal with Australian food and what we need to get from home when we miss it.
Yep, and we even have some little bit of comments from our listeners out there, and we love to hear from you. Just keep them coming.
Including my mother, which she got vocal this week. And this week we would like to talk about what's your favorite barbecue? What barbecue means to you as well.
Yeah. And speaking of letters, we also got 2 letters from people that I mispronounced Donald's surname.
Oh, no, that's very important to correct that.
So I'll correct it. It's Donald Betts Jr.
Yes, we're sorry, Donald.
Because I say Bates. I don't know, maybe because that's just the way I read things.
Well, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You do that a little bit with Meat Mitch too sometimes.
Meat who?
Mitch Meat. Sometimes we have to remember not to say that.
All right.
Now, my favorite, I'm going to start, if that's okay. My favorite barbecue experience. I'm from California. We actually have our own style of barbecue, which is half grill, half barbecue. So it's starting to get recognized, called Santa Maria. So it's tri-tip. And I found a butcher. It took me 15 years. They had tri-tip, but then he closed. So I'm lost again. But my dad and my stepdad were barbecue buddies.
Ooh.
Dad had, I think, like 5 different barbecues and a smoker. And my stepdad, they'd have towels in their waistbands and they would barbecue together.
We were never that fancy. The only thing we had was a barbecue that, worked on charcoal and just hamburgers, hot dogs, and steaks. No sauces, no nothing.
So that's the difference. So people here call grilling, which is, we would call it grilling, barbecuing. So barbecue, the difference is low and slow, isn't it?
Low, slow, just like the Mississippi. So the other thing is that the Australians really have come about and really incorporated a lot of the American barbecue techniques, going from the Weber and cooking now over open flame. So it's the evolution of barbecue in Australia.
Oh, people are so interested now. But you've gone on barbecue tours back at home. So what was the best part of that?
Probably whatever I could get for free, but I did go to one with my son in Texas. We just walked into it, and it was a competition, and it was quite amazing. These people just live on the road. They have these big camper vans, so to speak, and they just go from competition to competition, get the points. They got sponsors. It's just a big wherewithal.
That sounds good. I like the side dishes too, like beans,
the mac and cheese,
coleslaw, potato salad,
and corn on the cob. Now, the recipe here is from an Aussie that I got here from Bob, and it's corn on the cob that you grill, and then you coat it with mayonnaise that's mixed with chipotle, with adobe sauce, and then you grate Parmesan cheese over it. Unbelievable.
I love that adobo sauce that goes with it. It's fantastic. So we're going to be talking more Kansas City today because that's where Mitch is from.
Love is fine, but so is swine. Just don't make me choose, 'Cause understand, I'm still a man with the pork fat baby back blues.
Welcome, Mitch Benjamin from Meat Mitch, which is my favorite sauce, and I think it's my best out there. I sell it to anyone that walks in because I love it so much. I just want you, if you could explain to me a little bit about Kansas City barbecue and what's so special about it.
Well, thank you, Barbara, for the introduction. Kansas City. I mean, we're located right in the center of the United States, and we consider ourselves, the best that there is when it comes to barbecue. Sweet, savory sauces, the luxurious proteins, your meats, your pork, your burn ends, your brisket. There's just about a barbecue restaurant on every corner. And, everyone gravitates towards it, and it's home, it's community, it's friends, it's backyard picnics, it's, it's everything that there is. And,
So Mitch, how did you all get started in this? I mean, did you just I know you grew up with barbecue, but how did you say, okay, well, I really want to start making my own sauces, etc.? How'd you get all this together?
So it really originated from the American Royal Barbecue Competition, which is the largest barbecue competition in the world. At one point, I think we had about 610 teams. So my wife and I went there about 22 years ago, was our first time. We were brought in as guests to go to a party and just had an amazing time. And it was quite a spectacle, I mean, to be seen. It was hay bales and huge parties and DJs and music bands and everything. I mean, at that point, to me, the barbecue was secondary. I was just enthralled with the whole show. And I decided the next day that, we can do this. And it tied in with my next door neighbor who kind of took me under his wing. They were empty nesters, and I was 24 years old. And they taught me. They had a pool and a refrigerator full of beer and a smoker. So I would go
what
over
else do
there
you
every
need?
day.
It's for all great ideas.
Exactly. I know. So he taught me how to smoke. I fancied it. I got better at it. I worked at it. We went and had the most amazing party, which was the foremost reason we did the American Royal, 20 years ago. And then everything just grew from there. The funny part about that story is our first year entering, when everything was done and the dust had settled, we had one keg of beer left, and my team and I all loaded up and headed back to my house to guaranteeing each other that we would finish that keg. And I got a call saying, "Mitch, where are you?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You got third place brisket." I'm like, "Come on, out of 600 teams? Somebody screwed up. I think the judges drank the keg, not us." So it was pretty funny. And that just led, one year after another, we just continued to really get into it. We started to do additional, competitions throughout the United States. We started to enter the Memphis and May World Championships, and just started to travel around and really hone our craft and take it seriously and have a lot of fun. And that's really what grew from that, as you mentioned earlier, is a line of barbecue sauces and rubs, followed by a restaurant, and it really took over my whole life. I'm not sure my wife realized that was going to happen when it started, but that's where we are now.
Well, that probably keeps you happily married. That it keeps you very occupied and out of her hair.
Yeah, me on the road, that's good. Get me out of the kitchen here. Yes.
Yeah. So Mitch, just for our listeners out there now, Kansas City has a certain style, but the rest of America also has certain styles with, like Tennessee and the Carolinas, etc. So could you just give us a little rundown on a taste difference between each one of those venues?
Well, the beauty part of that is that, as you mentioned, they all are different, and I love them all. I mean, I really gravitate towards Texas barbecue. I love the beef ribs. I love the salt and pepper. They're very brisket centric. They're not as much pork and things like we are here in Kansas City, which makes us a nice melting pot because I think we do everything well. But I love that. I've spent 4 or 5 days with buddies just driving around, hitting all the top locations. So I'm very familiar with Texas barbecue and love it to death. Memphis, you're getting into more vinegars, dry rubs. Same with the Carolinas, the vinegars, and more pork. Memphis in May, the whole competition is strictly pork to win the thing. I mean, they have alternate subcategories, but that's the main thing. But yeah, just love it all. I mean, Kansas City is known as having a slightly sweet, tangy barbecue with a little bit of heat at the end. Not as much vinegar, but as you migrate east or south towards those other states, then the vinegar really hits the back of your throat. It's awesome. Just love it.
Mitch, can you just tell us? You said you had a restaurant. I also saw that you had a place in Paris for a period of time. Can you just tell us a little bit about your restaurant?
Paris, Texas?
No, Paris. The Paris.
No, actually Paris, France. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So in 2014, we had the bright idea of opening a barbecue restaurant in Kansas City. So, right next to all the other ones. But it's called Char Bar, and it's in Westport, and it's been very successful and very proud of it. And through those endeavors, I was able to make some connections and had an opportunity really to go over to Paris, France, like you mentioned, Barbara, last spring, and help a team open up Rosie's Smokehouse, which was just an amazing opportunity and time. There a few months. It was right on the Seine in Saint Michel, right across from Notre Dame. And if you remember, when it burned down last spring, I was right across the street from it.
And you had no connection with it burning down, right? You had no connection.
No, I had 50 texts from all my friends saying, "Are you trying to do whole hog in the bottom of that plate?" I mean, no. So I swear it wasn't me. But 150 texts easy of people saying that I did it. But yeah, no, it was an amazing event. And actually, my head chef, Paul Patterson, is from New Zealand, and he and I became fast friends. And then this past February, I went over to New Zealand, to Auckland, and competed in meat stock, and met everybody, and was over there for about 3 weeks, just a few months ago, right before kind of the whole COVID breakout. So it was amazing.
Yeah. So now the problem is with the Kiwis. I mean, and even with the Aussies here, they use a lot of lamb. And the last time I was in Kansas and I tried to put lamb on the plate for my nieces over there, they wouldn't go near it. It's like, no, we don't eat lamb here.
No. And to your point, I was at a dinner party last night where I made lamb chops for them. I smoked them along with like an Asian butter sauce. I mean, they were amazing looking, and I plated them, put them on a big platter, and no one would go near them. I'm like, "What are you doing? Come here, like, try this." And after about the fourth person was like, "This is the best thing I've ever had," then everyone started to come over and try it. But it is talking people into it over here, and I absolutely love it. It's great.
Well, see, I have a daughter who used to be vegetarian for lamb because she had a toy, and they were too cute to eat. But we've now changed her, so we've got her to eat them that now. Now, I just wanted to ask about if you could explain burnt ends to us, because it is amazing. But people that aren't familiar with that, can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, so sure. So like what people commonly refer to a whole packer brisket. So that's a point and a flat, and that's two parts of the brisket, and you can separate them. And the point meat is the fattier side. And oftentimes what we'll do is we'll separate that and go a little bit longer with that in order to break down, the fat and really to render that out and get it moist and, good the way you want it. So we cube them up, and that's the burnt end. But legendarily from the Kansas City area, as far as like Arthur Bryant's is concerned, they were considered kind of peasants' food, as far as it was the cheap meat, it was the ends, it was the burnt up parts. They would kind of refer to them as the burnt edges, and they would give them away, and they became uber popular. And so Kansas City pretty much got on the map with barbecue from giving away burnt ends, which now are considered a delicacy and you pay top dollar for it. But yeah, they're fantastic.
Great. So Mitch, just in continuing with going back to your, all your beans there. So how did you evolve on making your sauces and your rubs?
Well, you got a lot of time on your hands during barbecue competitions. Yeah. the meat cooks for a long time. So you drink beer and you figure out what else you're going to do with your time. So we would play around and, make different sauces, mess around with different rubs. I've taken a lot of classes. I took classes on how to make rubs and so forth. And really it just evolved from trying to figure out how to make the best sauce and rub so we could win the competition. Barbecue judges eat with their eyes first. So you want a glazed sauce that looks beautiful on the meat. They generally will take 1 or 2 bites, so you better pack a lot of pow. And we just, really created sauces and rubs to be able to wow a judge within 1 or 2 bites. And we've been very successful with it.
We are lucky enough to carry your sauces. The difference between the Womp and the Naked.
So Womp is my baby. So that was the first sauce that we brought out. And true to Kansas City, it has some sweet, and then it packs a little bit of heat in the back. It's a habanero extract called capsicum that we put in there that just brings an element of kind of fire at the end. Well, one of the things that you learn through the process is that everyone's palate is extremely different. So some think it's not hot, some think it's extremely hot. It's all over the board. So what we really did to create the Naked was strip out all the heat, and we also stripped out any high fructose corn syrup and all those different items to make a completely all-natural version. Since then, we have followed suit with Womp and made it all-natural too, but we've kept that heat element in there. So really, the Naked version is just stripped of the heat. Sure.
I know you're a big sports fanatic, right?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us like your best sports story associated with your barbecue.
Well, I mean, one of the coolest things that we did was our team, we flew to New York City and cooked for Derek Jeter's retirement party in Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
It was against
awesome.
The Kansas City Royals. It was a Sunday night. It was so much fun. Obviously, you're challenged with trying to bring barbecue there. So how we did it is we cooked it here in Kansas City. We packed it up in coolers and flew on Southwest and checked them. And then when we landed, we just rolled our coolers from the plane onto the subway, which is crazy enough, and stood on top of them on the subway. The subway opens up right at the gate, the front gate of Yankee Stadium. I had texted the manager of us, not the team manager, but of us, who met us with golf carts and everything. And they're like, what? Like, where's your cars? Where's everything? Like, no, we took the subway. They start walkie-talkieing everyone saying, they took the subway. They just showed up on the subway. It was so funny. So we loaded up on the golf carts, brought all of our stuff in there, opened it up, just reheated and just had an amazing time. We did the home team and the away team. Michael Jordan was there. I mean, famous Hall of Fame guys like Reggie Jackson with tongs, putting ribs on plates. And it was, it was a who's who, obviously, for Derek Jeter. So it was a really, really cool event.
What an event to go to. All right. So one last thing here, in America, you have Home Depot, and over here we have Bunnings. So Bunnings does these charity, they give us a little booth outside. You could do a charity sausage sizzle. It's so they cook these sausages that have 98% fat and cook them down, and then you have it on a piece of bread with tomato sauce, which is AKA sort of like a ketchup. Anything like that goes over at Home Depot or anywhere? Or what's that, Tractor Warehouse or something you got there?
No.
I think this is what qualifies as Melbourne barbecue. The good old sausage sizzle at the front and grilled onions as well.
We do have demoing events and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, anytime you can dip anything in the barbecue sauce, there's a line out the door for it. So we do certain things for sure.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Mitch, thank you so much for coming on. I know our listeners are really going to enjoy this one. And this is our 3rd episode, so they haven't thrown us out yet. Maybe after this one they will. But thanks again. We hope to talk to you soon, and maybe one of these days catch up.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Have a great day.
Love my barbecue. Still a man. Pork fat, baby back blues.
It was so lovely to be able to speak to Mitch Benjamin again from Meat Mitch. As I said, my favorite sauce. Where if anyone is in Kansas City, they should check out Char Bar. Or if you can get a hold of a bottle of sauce, we can help you out with that. We have the Naked and the Womp, and there's a char table sauce that must be from his restaurant as well, and a rub. It is fantastic, and he was just so easy to talk to.
Yeah, he's really a nice guy and got loads of stories. We probably could have kept him on for another 2 hours.
It was lovely. We had a few issues at the beginning trying to hook him up to record him, so we had to do it running, and he was just lovely and patient with us, which we appreciate.
Yeah, he had his elbows filled up with barbecue for the whole weekend. He does a lot of catering also, so it's quite nice him spending his Sunday night. I'm sure he was pretty tired and enjoying it.
Now, to bring the theme in of Meat Mitch, we have our secret code this week.
And that is Mitch.
So when you check out online or you come into the shop, just use the word Mitch, and we'll be able to help you out with a little secret code discount.
Now, in case you don't know where the shop is, we're located on Cochran's Road, number 73, Cochran's Road. You could also get in touch with us at podcast@usafoods.com.au. We're open every day except for Sunday during the lockdown in Victoria from 10 o'clock to 5 p.m. Now, please, you got the email address, so get involved. Let us know what you want to hear, what you think of the shows. If you have any good ideas, any recipes, we'll like to hear that from you.
We heard from a few people last week, and actually we talked about hometown favorites, and the most popular were In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Chick-fil-A, and Katz's Deli. And we had Phil talk to a longtime customer, Giovanni. How
Italian could you get? His name is Giovanni. His second name is Michelangelo Di Serino. So every time he comes into the store, I spend probably a good part of an hour just chatting with him over the freezer or near the food. And we're talking about food. We're talking about New York. He's a New York fellow. He also has a connection into Kansas City. He was a chef there. He is a chef. He did barbecue in Kansas City, and he also did soul food. So we're going to touch his bases with some of those things in the future.
I'm sure he is probably pretty interested in hearing from Mitch talking about Kansas City barbecue. Giovanni is one of my favorites. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is my weekly favorite. It's NAT NOSH, which is the new name for National Food Days over the next 7 days.
All right, so our first National Food Day that's coming up is Wednesday, September 30th, National Hot Mulled Cider Day.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but the seasons are backwards because it's getting fall over there, and mulled cider would be really nice at this time of the year when it's chilly, like it is now here in Melbourne.
Yeah, but it needs a little shot of something special in it, like maybe Fireball. That might go well with it.
Oh, yeah, that will warm it up. You don't have to put the heat on it.
Cockles of your heart. And
yes.
Tomorrow, we have World Vegetarian Day, and pudding season begins, and Homemade Cookies Day. Now, World Vegetarian Day.
Well, there's a lot of vegetarians out there.
Well, they are.
I don't think Mitch will be one of the friends of...
I think maybe that is contra to what we just talked about earlier, but pudding season.
But we talked about pudding with the skin on it and the cooked pudding as opposed to the instant pudding.
My grandmother used to put 1 vanilla and 1 chocolate together. It was fantastic. And Homemade Cookies Day.
Ooh, which is your favorite?
Well, look, chocolate chip.
Yeah, everybody has chocolate chip.
My stepdad, he loves an oatmeal raisin cookie. loves them.
Yeah.
And sugar cookies.
Yeah, sugar cookies. I remember sugar cookies as kids. The first time I had a real homemade cookie was a sugar cookie, and it was just like superb.
I don't think there's a cookie I don't like, really. And now on Friday, it's National Fried Scallops Day.
Do you say scallops or scallops?
Scallops.
Scallops.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a bone to pick with you, or my mother has a bone to pick with you.
I didn't do it.
She got very cranky that we went over Crab Newburg Day and just didn't talk about it because she loves Crab Newburg, and she's offended that I didn't remember that she used to go to the Crab Pot, which was a place, and used to have that. So I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
It's all
we
Phil's
can't win
fault.
them all the time.
No.
But National Scallops Day, I remember there was a scam going on in America about people selling actually slate, that's the fish, right? And they cut it with like a cookie cutter and selling them as sea scallops.
Well, anything to make a buck, I suppose. There's a
Yeah, I
sucker
guess.
born every minute.
Yeah.
Here's my favorite on Sunday, National Taco Day.
Taco Day. We just got you missed one.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Saturday, October 3rd, National Caramel Custard Day.
I like caramel because that's like butterscotch.
It
Isn't
is
that like
nice.
another word for butterscotch?
It is, but is it like a flan or is it just, I don't know.
Yeah, flam is really good.
Well, let's get back to Taco Day
Okay.
because I can't, because you have a flan after a taco.
But it's National Taco Day and Vodka Day. How good could that be? Come on.
That is a beautiful day. You could enough vodka you could forget if you had a bad taco.
Yeah. And there's no such thing as a bad taco or bad vodka.
No.
So that's next Sunday.
Yum.
Oh, the 4th. So remember that on the 4th, tacos and vodka.
Yeah, it's not Taco Tuesday. It's Vodka Taco Sunday.
Yeah. We'll make any day Tuesday. And the next one is on Monday, National Apple Betty Day. Now, do you know what Apple Betty's is?
It's sort of like a crumbly thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really do a lot of that. But
No, it's like a blondie, I think.
okay. I think there was maybe Stockton Joe's or one of those restaurants we used to go to as a kid.
It's like one of those Midwestern desserts. Yeah. We
no.
didn't have it on the other ends of the country. That was just something in the middle.
Well, Tuesday, October 6th, you can take this sweet or savory Noodle Day.
Yep. A noodle kugel.
I
That's
love
a sweet
kugels.
one.
I love a kugel.
Had plenty of those in New York. And then the other one is I remember having homemade noodles going back to Kansas at a barbecue. First time I had like noodles that were really like the Dutch type homemade.
Oh, yeah, because with pot roast, Mom used to do that.
Yes, so
Now,
good.
the noodle kugels, that's sort of like a traditional Jewish dish, so it's almost custardy. It's like it's solid when you cut into it, but it's so beautiful.
It's so good, and it's crunchy on top if they bake it right.
I love it. Well, that's it for the national days this week.
Okay. So now next week, we're going to be talking about school lunchbox.
Yes, and we're going to have my first friend. We met on the first day of first grade by the bike rack.
Right. I didn't have a lunchbox. Sorry. We had
Your
paper
sack?
bags. Yeah, just paper bags. And it always shone through. I always knew when people had tuna fish.
My mother used to make me like hors d'oeuvres. She'd roll up salami and put like a toothpick through it. It was very fancy.
Yeah.
Or if I stayed with my dad, he made me a man's sandwich with like slices of liverwurst and onion in it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So that was good. So we will, hopefully she won't tell too many stories about me, but maybe, we don't know.
Yeah, we will save those for next week because there's plenty, I'm sure.
And what was your favorite lunchbox? I had a Holly Hobby one. So if not everyone was like Phil with the brown sack, you just write in at podcast@usafoods.com. What was your favorite? Charlie's Angels, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, the lunchbox. You mean the box they carried in it?
Yes.
That's for the people who could afford it. I had to draw like little pictures on my paper bag.
I was a bit fancy. I don't know. And if you want to hear our back episodes or hear this one again, don't forget that you can subscribe to us on Apple, Stitcher, or Spotify. So every week you'll just get a little reminder that Barbara and Phil will be there to have a chat with you.
Yeah, we'll just pop up.
It's like a pop-in.
Yes. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye, y'all.
And I'll say bye, y'all. Y'all come back now.
You here?
Take care, everyone. Have a good day.
I love my barbecue.
Adobo.
So you said adobe,
Adobe.
but it's adobo.
Adobo.
And then I screwed it up.
Understand, I'm just a man with a pork fat baby back blues. Yeah, understand, I'm still your man.